Imagine you created a great musical idea and you want to extend it vertically, meaning to the top and to the bottom. How do you go about solving this problem? Well, I can offer you a possible solution. Let's jump right in. The sketch takes part mostly in that register here. I'm not very strict with that, so probably I go, for one or two notes, I go lower than the G. I don't care. You don't have to be that exact. Just make sure that you know where most of the energy takes place. And that is in this blue labeled section here. This means, on the other hand, that you have this low section available and this high section right here for our potential extensions. And this brings us right now to the first problem. What are we supposed to do? And you can answer this question in a million ways. There are so many options, of course. So here's probably the easiest one and one of the most efficient ones as well. And that is when you look at the overtone series and see what's going on, we move from very simple to more and more complex intervals. And that being said, we have two basic guidelines here, right? So the first guideline is if we want to go to the top, it's a great starting point to create more complexity the higher we go, because this is basically what happens in the overtone series naturally. Or when we go down from our sketch in the lower register, try to reduce the complexity, basically bring in triads, because guess what's happening down here? That's just the root tone. So if you're looking for strong structures, then voice it that way, like scale tone 1, 5, and 10 or minus 10. Or you can go with a dominant structure and then you have 1, 3, and minus 7, or the other way around. This works both ways. So as a basic concept, just to remind you, when you want to go up, think in terms of complexity. You can increase the complexity. And when you go down, try to think as simple as possible. Don't try to bring in your 11th chords down here. This won't sound good, I guarantee, because of the overtone series. So now that we know these guidelines, let's put them into action because that is what we want to see here. When I look at the sketch, I can actually bring up the sketch here for a second. In this case, I'm looking for vertical combinations here. Then you see that very often we run into a 7 right here. That's a 5. Here, this is the same 5. Here's a 7 again. Then guess what? Here, great. That's our 5. Down here, what's that? That's a D even, another 5. So we have a 2 plus 5 that goes to a 5 plus 5. That is all great stuff, which means we have lots of 5s in here and 5 plus 5s. So that's a prominent interval in the sketch. Let's use this. And let's use this interval and extend it to the top. Now I'm coming back to my original PDF. That is why I spotted this 5 interval here, okay? And that is this guy. So when I talk about interval extension, it's basically just repeating the formula. If you have a 5, put another 5 on top and another 5 and so on. And this way we create this 5 plus 5 structure here, starting from the top note that we found in our sketch. So in case you want to get rid of this doubled note, you can always go to a position change. And that's exactly what I did right here. So I just put the C an octave up and then you have a 5 plus 2. So what you want to remember is the formulas for your 5+5 and the position changes. It always goes 5+5, 5+2, 2+5. Whenever you see one of those formulas show up, you instantly know that you can connect to triads, you can connect to pentatonic, you can even make this guy into, let's say, a 3-part 13th chord. This also works. It just depends on the root, which means you can go back to the diatonic system. You can even go, into the world of equivalence. Let the 5+5 move to a 4+4 chromatically. Then you have your portal. Even better. You can open up so many opportunities and options for creating more related material around this interval. And for this moment right here, just remember that a 5+5 equals a 5+2 or a 2+5. Interval extensions are great and a very inspiring way to create more related materials around your starting block. So it can work as a pad or background motor or even as a step. If you enjoyed this video, then please like it and share it with a friend, because this will help me make more of these. And I hope to see you in the next one. Stay tuned. This was Frank. Bye.